This class is for telecommunication management, and sorry for the delay, just due to one or two issues. That's why we're starting now. Okay, I'll be sharing my screen now so that you'll be seeing what I'll be doing. The PowerPoint presentation which I'll be using for this course. Although I have two materials, but we'll first start with this PowerPoint presentation, then later we'll go down to the material which I'll be using. So first of all, we start from the introduction. Well, what is telecommunication? Telecommunication is transmission of information that allows for communication between people who are separate by distance. That is what you have to understand. That is what telecommunication is. It's an avenue of which information is being allowed between people separated by distance. And you have to know that before the invention of modern equipment, people already knew, well, people already communicated. They had a way of communicating with each other. Before the invention of whatever means which we're using to communicate now, before now, people had a means which they used to communicate. And this means over the years, it has evolved. It has evolved. Perhaps when we begin to go deeper, when we begin to talk types of communication, telecommunication, you get to know that there are different ways, different means before now, which the people of the old, they were using to communicate with each other. Even up till now, it only keeps getting better. Okay, that is that for telecommunication. The definition is transmission of information that allows for communication between people separated by distance. Then, what are the examples of telecommunication? The examples of telecommunication: we have telephone system, we have satellite communication system, we have mobile cellular system, we have radar and sonar systems, microwave radio systems, TV and radio broadcasting system, space discovery using telecommunication, oil exploration with radio frequency, analysis, warfare, communication, information and intelligence gathering. These are all examples of telecommunication. These are examples of telecommunication. I'm very, very sure that most of us are already conversant with all, if not everything that is here. Okay, I will just explain information and intelligence gathering. Information and intelligence gathering is it's also known as recognizance. It's a means of telecommunication that is called as recognizance. And this recognizance could either be passive or active. Passive or active, in the sense that information and intelligence gathering is as simple as most of us, if not all of us, it is something we do. It's as easy as even picking up your name to search on Google. That is what is called information and intelligence recognizance. Most of us, we have already picked up our phone, this thing, to search one or two information on Google, or you make finding concerning something. That is just as simple as information and intelligence gathering. Then we we have 3 units of telecommunication. These are the 3 fulcrums of the core of telecommunication. These are the core of telecommunication, which is the transmitter, the transmission medium, and the receiver. The transmitter, the transmission medium, and the receiver. A transmitter that takes information and converts it into signal. Transmitter collects information. So as we are talking now, my voice, which you are hearing, is being converted to signal, and over to your end, the receiver convert it back to your information, the information which is being emitted from my end. That is just what is happening. As you are hearing me wherever you are now, what you are actually hearing before it gets down to you, it's being transmitted into signal and it passes through the wave. It gets to you, then the receiver converts it back. It might, this thing I'm talking to you does not actually, it's between, it's as very fast as it is. Then the transmission medium. The transmission medium is talking about the physical channel that carries the signal. The physical channel that carries the signal. Then the receiver takes the signal from the channel and converts it back to the usable information. It converts it back to whatever medium it was being produced. Please take note of that. These are called the core. It is regarded as the core of telecommunication. Then what are the basic elements of telecommunication? Number one, we have the sender. The sender. In this case now, let me use this scenario also. I am the sender. For now, whatever I am saying, that is what everybody is hearing, making me the sender of the information. Then we have the transmitter. The transmitter transmits the information through a medium to the receiver, which transmits the signal into information that can be used and understood by the people. These are the basic elements of telecommunication. We have the sender, the one that sends the message, the sender who uses the transmitter, which converts the signal converts the message into signal. Then the transmitter is in charge of converting this message from the signal down to the information which can be understood by the people. Okay? Then we have what is called the transmission medium. The transmission medium. Transmission medium. The transmission medium carries the signal. It carries the signal. Then we have the sender. The sender receives the signal and converts it back to its usable information. Then the channel is responsible to carry the information from one source to the destination without distortion or loss of information. Before we continue with this, I would like to minimize my screen so that we go to types of communication. Types of communication, so that we actually take a glance, we will take a look at the various types of communication which we have before now. Okay, maybe perhaps by the end of this class, as many that need this handout, I would just want you to indicate so that I will send you this whole handout. There will be a means which this thing will be sent across to everybody. Okay. I hope you see what I'm actually marking. It's actually the types of communication, telecommunication. Types of telecommunication. Then the first thing here is called the navigation light. These are types of telecommunication. These are types of telecommunication. Understand that when we are defining what telecommunication is, we said it's used for transmitting messages It's used for transmitting messages between two people that are separated by distance. That was what we established when we were defining telecommunication. So now, the type of telecommunication here now is, the first one here is navigation light. Navigation light. Navigation light is also known as running or position light. It's also known as running or position light. It's a source of illumination on a vessel, aircraft position, heading and status. Their placement is mandated by the International Convention on or civil authorities. Navigation lights are not intended to provide illumination for the aircraft, making the passage only for the craft to be aware of it. Navigation lights are actually used mostly in your aircraft and your vessels. Most of the times, I don't know, maybe perhaps fortunately, maybe you have actually seen in a situation whereby a plane is on a standstill on the air, and you see a beam of light somewhere around it. This light is actually called a navigation light. This light is on the body of this plane. It's actually telling the incoming plane or the plane behind this that there is something ahead. Maybe perhaps the runway is not clear for them to land, and there is a little bit of delay. The signal which it's actually giving is that every other plane coming behind it should be aware of its position, because if the light is not there, there will be a collision. There will be a collision. So the light which it is actually emitting as at that time, it's called navigation light, to indicate its position, its status, where it is. The light itself is not meant for, the light is not actually meant for itself. It's actually an indication for others, perhaps incoming or outgoing, to know that there is something there. So that is for navigation light. Then the next one is called flare. A flare is a light blaze. It's okay, a fire blaze light used specifically to signal, illuminate, or attract attention. Also, a device or composition used to produce such a flare. It can also be called a fuse, a type of peripatetic that produces a bright light or intense heat without an explosion. This flare, most of the times, we might have seen these things in movie, but we might have not actually taken note of them. This flare is actually used to indicate, okay, I will use this example. In a situation whereby a vessel or a ship is actually stranded in the middle of the ocean, and there is or in the middle of an island or somewhere, and the position of it is not being known, and a search party is being issued for it, for the authorities to go and search out for this ship. What is being done there is that when the people that are on this ship that is lost, when they sight any incoming ship or something that is coming as an indication that they are looking for them, the flare is being used to indicate their position, because there on the sky you can actually see directly, except the people there on the ground can give you an indication. Most of the time, this thing comes as a shotgun. They use it and they point it towards the sky and they shoot it. So the thing actually gives a bright light. Then the people there on the sky will actually pinpoint from where this thing is coming from. That is what flare is actually used for. It's actually a very bright light used for signal to indicate positions, and it's used to attract attention. Okay, that is for flares. Okay, then the next one is called smoke signal communication. Smoke signal communication. Smoke signal, most of the times, smoke signal are okay. Smoke signal was what was being used in the olden days before now. The smoke signal is one of the oldest form of long distance communication. It is a form of visual communication used over long distance. In general, smoke signals are used to transmit news, signal danger, or gather people to a common area. In a situation whereby there is an invasion, smoke signal can be used to tell people surrounding neighbors that there is a danger. And in a situation whereby the people need to be gathered, people need to be summoned for something, smoke signal is also used to call up the people. Then we have what is called the fiber optic communication. Fiber optic communication. A fiber optic communication, this is a method of transmitting information from one place to another by sending pulse of light through an optic fiber. Fiber optic communication. Most of us would have been fortunate to see during in our surrounding where fiber optic are being buried around by telecommunication. It is actually used as another means of communication, and the way which information are being passed across this, the way information are being passed is that they are being passed and they are being sent by pulse of light. Pulse of light. Then the next one here is your infrared communication. Your infrared communication is a wireless mobile communication used for device communication over a short range. In fact, infrared data association device communication is usually exchanged on a one-to-one basis. Your infrared communication is based on, most especially on your remotes. Take for instance your remote control of your television, whatever it is of your decoder and rest AC. This is actually a kind of communication technology which they use, which is called infrared communication, and this is based on a very short short path, and also one-to-one basis. And infrared communication is meant for a one-to-one basis and for a very short path. Okay, telecommunication technology. Telecommunication technology is the transmission of signals. Transmission of signals, messages, words, writing, images, and sound, or information by any nature, by wire, radio, optical, or other electromagnetic system. Telecommunication technology is the transmission of signals. These signals, of the transmission of signals, signs, messages, words, writing, images, and sound, or information of any nature by wire, radio, optical, or other electromagnetic systems. So understand that there are so many things which you can use, which you can send across your telecommunication using your telecommunication technology. It is not only words, it is not only messages. There are so many other things which you can send across. Telecommunication occurs when the exchange of information between communication participants includes the use of technology. There are segments telecommunication industry or key telecommunication industry segments. The telecommunication segment consists of three subsectors, which are telecommunication equipment, telecommunication services, and wireless telecommunication. I will minimize my screen so that I can actually go back to the materials which we were using before now. Okay. This is a type of telecommunication model. We talk about examples of telecommunication, and we list so many of them. We talk about the telephone system, the satellite communication system, the modular mobile cellular system, and the rest of them like that. This is a typical example of a telephone system. We have, from just understand from one end to the other. From one end, you have what is called the transmitter. Transmitter, which is used to send the message. Your transmitter is responsible for sending the message. And at the other end, you have what is called, okay, in between them, you have the transmission medium. And at the end, you have the receiver. So this is a typical example. This is a typical drawing of how a telephone system is. And you understand that at each end, which the information, with the flow of information coming in and going out, understand that whatever nature which the information is being produced from, there is always a conversion. There is always a conversion. Then when it gets to the other end, there is also a conversion. Because of what use will it be that the information, when it gets to the other end, it is not being communicated, it is not understood. Then you understand that the essence for information is already defeated. So understanding this, that we have the transmission, the transmitter, then we have the transmission medium, and at the other end we have the transmitter. This, all of them work together. There is always a conversion of how the whole thing goes. Okay. Due to the sake of time, I would want to ask, is there any question before the class comes to an end? Hello. Any question? Okay. In the absence of any, I'll be giving an assignment now. Okay. Assignment is write extensively on these examples of telecommunication, or exhaustively on these examples of telecommunication. The first one there is telephone system. Then the second one is your satellite communication system. Then the third one is mobile cellular system. Then the fourth one is your radar and sonar systems. The fourth one, radar and sonar systems. Then the fifth one is your microwave radio system. Microwave radio systems. That is question number 1. Then question number 2. What is the difference between telephone system and mobile cellular system? What is the difference between your telephone system and mobile cellular system? That is question number 2. Then question number 3, the differentiates between satellite communication system and microwave radio systems. Differentiates between satellite communication system and microwave radio systems. Please, it should be submitted before our next class. The email which you will submit it to is sharonchris29@gmail.com. sharonchris29@gmail.com. Sharon SHARON Chris CHRIS29@gmail.com. Please feel free to get across to me on 08133121309 in case of anything, of any question, or you want more explanation on something. Please feel free to get across to me so that I will actually do justice to that. I come again with the email sharonchris29@gmail.com. Sharon SHARONCHRIS Chris29@gmail.com. And my phone number, in case of anything, 08133121309. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much. And please, this assignment is to be submitted before our next class. Have it in mind that this is part of your, CA. Thank you very much for everything. And please stay safe.